So today in our ongoing series of movies with an antibiotic twist, we come to the 1949 film The Third Man. Featuring Orson Welles. This movie is set in post-war Vienna. It really is 1949 in the movie. It's the story of a guy named Holly Martins who arrives in Vienna at the invitation of his friend Harry Lime. And he arrives and asks somebody, where's Harry? And it turns out Harry's dead. And Holly begins, oh, wow, well, starts to investigate that. And he begins to poke into the story of Harry's death and gradually finds some people who've seen it. And then the twist that emerges is that there was a third person there. We have this funny, vague story about a car accident, and then there was a body, but there was also somebody there that nobody's really willing to name.
It's better not to be mixed up in things like this.
Things like what?
I was not the only one who did not give evidence.
Who else?
3 men helped to carry your friend to the statue.
Kurtz?
Yes.
The Romanian?
Yes.
And?
There was a third man.
Before I go any further, I've said, spoiler alert, this is the moment where if you've not seen the movie and you think you'd like to see the movie, you should turn the video off and come back later. And I just as a plug for the movie, this movie contains a character who I'm about to talk about, who is Ebert's #1 villain of all time. I'm talking about Siskel and Ebert, movie critics. Ebert, this is his favorite villain of all time, the most heinous of every one of them. So great film. And this is your last chance because I'm about to tell the story. All right, you've been warned. So we come to find out that third man is Harry Lime. Harry's not dead. That body was somebody else.
Get me the Harry Lime file and get Mr. Martins a large whiskey.
I don't need your drinks, Calloway.
You will.
Harry is running from the authorities because Harry is in deep trouble.
You ever heard of penicillin?
Well?
In Vienna, there hasn't been enough penicillin to go round, so a nice trade started here. Stealing penicillin from the military hospitals, diluting it to make it go further, and selling it to patients. Do you see what that means?
Are you too busy chasing a few tubes of penicillin to investigate a murder?
These were murders. Men with gangrened legs, women in childbirth, and there were children too.
Penicillin really got ramped up in terms of its production around World War II. It was the thing that we were using to, take care of soldiers in the battlefield and keep them from dying of infections after an injury. And the military had the vast majority of the supply. The civilians would love to have it because, as you know, penicillin's magic. You could be about to die of meningitis or have your leg rot off. And penicillin reverses that completely. So this tells us something about the motive here. Harry Lime, the bad guy, wasn't stealing heroin. He wasn't stealing paintings. He was stealing antibiotics. Talk about your gold-plated, platinum-encrusted, diamond-encrusted fire extinguisher. I mean, fire extinguishers right now, antibiotics is the fire extinguisher medicine. Fire extinguisher is something you buy at the hardware store, for goodness sake. We think of antibiotics as almost a quite inexpensive commodity. We want them available in many places. No, in 1949, that antibiotic fire extinguisher was worth more than a fancy painting or anything else, a fancy diamond necklace. It was incredibly valuable, so much so that there could be a real black market for it.
This is the biggest children's hospital in Vienna. All the kids in here are the result of Lime's penicillin racket. It had meningitis. They gave it some of Lime's penicillin. Terrible pity, isn't it?
These days we do know there are a lot of counterfeit medications around the world, but I also have to say that even the well-made ones aren't available around the world. We recently wrote a paper about this in which we looked at the availability of newer antibiotics and how long it took them to get registered, mostly with the U.S. being the first country where they got registered. How long did it take for it to propagate to Europe and then beyond? And the answer is it takes a long time. And that's unfortunate because access to the new antibiotic, the right fire extinguisher when you need it, is critical to the prevention of antimicrobial resistance. We want you to be able to put the fire out. The patient's on fire with an infection due to a difficult bug. I want to treat that right now so that it doesn't spread to somebody else. And that's why fire extinguishers are so important. The building's on fire. Got to treat it right now. You can't say, I'll be back in 10 years with a fire extinguisher for your fire. It doesn't work. You're dead by then. We actually need it right now, and we need it available right now around the world. So lots of discussions these days about access and availability, and that's an important part of the developing of any new antibiotic, along with good stewardship of the antibiotic, along with also clean food, clean water, and vaccination. And if you've not thought about it, vaccines are a great way to protect our antibiotics and prevent the development of antimicrobial resistance. Because if you don't get the measles, or you don't get the flu, or you don't get COVID, you don't get sick, and you don't need an antibiotic. So we want to do all those things to protect our new antibiotics. But we also need the new antibiotics because those fires are going to emerge and resistance is eternal. We always need new antibiotics. End of rant. Sorry about that. The Third Man. Fabulous, fabulous movie. If you've not seen it, well, I've spoiled it for you, but it's still a great movie. It's, Orson Welles, and it's a great movie. So check it out. The Third Man, penicillin, fire extinguishers worth more than gold.